Now, the residents of the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT Abuja, are beginning to be worried about the noticeable insurgency, the resurgence of insecurity in the seat of the federal government, considering the fact that the nation's security apparatus are all domiciled in this city. Its safety for citizens would have been taken for granted. Well, unfortunately, Abuja has become a hotbed of criminal activities such as armed robbery, kidnapping, robbers or wheels on wheels, or what is euphemistically referred to as one chance, and carjacking. This development is giving everyone genuine cause for concern. Now, being the nation's capital, Abuja is home to people of varied background and nationality. It's also the seat of power where the three arms of government, we're talking about the executive, legislatures, and also the judiciary, as well as the security chiefs, are based. The security situation in the FCT is also a reflection of the general state of insurgency in the country. Nigeria has been grappling with a rising wave of crime and criminality for several years now, with Boko Haram insurgency in the northwest, banditry in the northeast, Boko Haram, and banditry in the northwest, and kidnapping in other parts of the country. Well, we have joining us via Zoom from Kaduna is Dr. Sani Aliyu, Co-Commandant General, the CCG. Good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on your program this morning. Good morning, Nigerianews.
Of course, it's good to have you. Thank you. So let's head on to the main issue that we have in Nigeria in general. But what is happening in the Federal Capital Territory? I mean, we all know how before people consider, the FCT to be the safest place, considering it's the capital of the nation. So what is wrong? How have we gotten to this point?
Well, it's not about people considering the FCT as the safest place in Nigeria. It used to be, but unfortunately, there are a lot of lukewarm attitude towards beefing up the security or taking care of the security of the FCT. Not only the FCT is having a problem, the whole country is enmeshed in this insecurity issue. And when you look at the whole thing, it's becoming a huge and a big joke. This is because we remain, there's nothing new, nothing is changing in terms of our security strategy. We are aware that Nigerians, the population is growing every day. We are over 200 million people today, and a country in a land size of about 927,000 square kilometers, or thereabout. And you still have total security agencies that are just about 1 million or even less than 1 million. And you expect this less than 1 million or 1 million population security agency combine all, and the military, the police, the civil defense, the customs, the immigration, combine them all. And you expect this less than 1 million or 1 million people, let's even give them 1 million, procure security for over 200 million people situated in over 927 square kilometers. Is that not a huge joke? It's a huge joke. And our security agencies refuse to get out of the box by collaborating with other security NGOs that are available on ground, that are ready to provide them support. They refuse. They are refusing to cooperate with them because they fear those organizations are going to take away their jobs from them, which is not right. Now, look at an organization like Neighborhood Enlightenment and Safety Organization with over 70,000 youths, volunteer youths, and not even the Nigerian police is collaborating with them, not the military, not any of the agencies. By the time you start talking to them, they approach this agency, they say, go and meet NSA. It's only NSA that can now approve their collaboration with security volunteers, NGOs that are available. And you began to wonder, what kind of country are we running if United Nations Pentagon has to visit such organization. If EU will come to visit such organization to understudy how they are operating, then you now ask yourself, why are the Nigerian security agency so how do I put it, so conservative? They are not opening up to the reality on the ground. They don't have the numbers, they don't have the technology, the population is overwhelming. There are situations of hardship in the country, no jobs, youth unemployment everywhere. Today, fuel hike is there. Food prices in the market are astronomically high, and everybody is, they say the idle man is a devil worship. Today, people are seeing how beneficially they get when they go kidnap people, they pay them ransom. You see people taking ransom. The police doesn't have the capacity or the equipment to track such ransoms. They don't know how to. I mean, people get
exactly.
Getting
CCG.
So
CCG, are you with us?
Get away with the money. Why would people be going into it?
CCG, are you with me? This is why we want to. Okay, just stay with me. I need to, ask this question. To add to what you were saying. Why do you think, apart from these main issues of what is happening, this is not the first time that we're seeing this level of, the level of what is happening in the economy, the economic situation. But then now, it's becoming too alarming. So what are the specific factors that you think it's adding to this insecurity, especially in the FCT?
Well, you see, the government is very insensitive to the plight of the poor or the youths. At the FCT, they came up with a plan, a plan the other time. I think everybody started it. They don't want Okada riders in the town, so they have to go and start operating within the satellite towns around the FCT, but they don't have any business to do with the business area, the major city. And these guys are there operating their Okada and operating what they call Keke Napep. Now the FCT again went into all those zones, start arresting those Okada people, confiscating their Okada, taking the Okadas away, making these boys become idle. They don't have any other option. They have collected, went into the places that are even allowed to say, okay, operate within the suburban of the city. Don't come into the city, but satellite town, yes, you can operate there. But this police task force, they still go into those satellite towns and Lakubwa, seize all these Okada riders' machines, and then left them idle without anything doing. Now, story goes around that people are kidnapped, and then they pay ransom, and the people the others are surviving. So it is an easy avenue for them to be recruited into kidnapping business. And that is why you see the high rise of kidnapping and armed robbery going on in Abuja today, because these youths have been denied their way of livelihood by way of moving Okada, transporting people and getting something and earning something. And the government said, don't do it. What have the government done as a way of, okay, don't do this, but you can do this? For instance, they say, okay, we don't want you to operate this way. Okay, we are providing this means of transport for you to operate. You can use this way. Or okay, well, like in China, you see prisoners bringing prisoners to Nigeria to come and give us services. Okay, why can't you take all these youth and provide maybe a land base of agricultural area in the FCT, or engage them train them in producing, manufacturing something like soap and other shoemaking and all this, and then engage and give them the startup capitals and then monitor their activities. Now, every day Abuja is seen as, okay, this city belongs to all of us, it's a capital, everybody wants to come. The hardship in the villages will not allow youth to remain in their villages. Everybody is influxing into Abuja. And the population of Abuja is becoming too high, with a lot of shanties construction industries. People are constructing, and there's no more funds to continue their construction. They left those houses uncompleted, and those houses provide safe and good haven for these miscreants to come and stay there and start invading the city with all sorts of attacks, either robbery, either kidnapping, and so on and so forth. And you see police collaborating in some cases with these boys. You know, they get some. You go to some places, you see police collecting something from these guys, and the boys are just having their, you know, their state. Some of them said that they used to pay something like taxes or rent to the police in terms of getting their environment secured in those sort of.
I mean, that's another that is another issue that we need to dive into also about what is happening. But then I'm not alone in the studio. I'm joined by my co-anchor for today, Sager Ibrahim. Good morning, Sager. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Sumaya.
So I'm sure you've stayed and watched what CCG was talking about. And he made mention of one of the things is this level of people coming to camp in Abuja. But we saw how the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has started demolishing these places, saying on insecurity. So the CCG is here to give us more reviews.
CCG, for me, my own question would be, if we look at, for example, communities that border the FCT, let's say towards the Nasarawa side, Karu, local government. Just a few days ago, 4 persons unfortunately lost their lives to an armed robbery attack around the area. Then other states, Kaduna, well, bordering Abuja, is dealing with one level of kidnapping or another. Thankfully, it has reduced. So what I'm saying in essence is, does this contribute in one way or the other? Of course, you spoke about the increase of slums and shantytown within the FCT. However, the bordering states around FCT and some of the issues in terms of insecurity and criminalities that's been happening around this area, would you say it has contributed in one way or another to either exacerbate the issue or help some of these criminals who operate within the FCT find safe haven outside these smaller communities after they've perpetrated their crimes and actions?
Absolutely. It is so. For this, when you say Wike is demolishing shanties, well, shanties are there. But what I'm saying, I'm not even talking about the shanties. I'm talking about the uncompleted, what do you call them, estates within the city. There are a lot of uncompleted estates. Some estates are completed, but nobody is occupying them, and they don't have proper parameter fencing. Everybody can access them. And even you see some, all these leftover houses and finished and uncompleted are actually another area of concern in terms of this. And then you look at places like Gishiri. I don't know what Gishiri should be doing around Metema area, of course. These places are harbors of criminals. We all know that. The police are very much aware of this. I don't know why we should be crying wolves when we know where these things are happening. Already, because of our concern as an organization, we have written to the FCT so that we should be able to assist the police in order to check out all these hotspots. We all know where these criminals are. Even the police are very much aware of them. I don't know why we are not. Some people are not doing what they are supposed to do. And again, there's need for high intelligence reports. A lot. Covert operation is very low, and you cannot succeed in delivering security without effective covert operation. So I think there is the need for us to go back to our drawing board in terms of procuring security, not only to the FCT but to the whole country. Because if we think, usually we used to say FCT is safe, so everybody don't care about what is happening in other states. You don't know that when Niger State is sick, FCT is sick. When Nasarawa State is sick, FCT is sick. When Kaduna State is sick, FCT is sick. If Kogi State is sick, FCT is sick. All these are bordering states. Whatever that is happening in any of these states can just trickle into FCT within a few hours.
All right.
I think we should
now
start
should there now be some form? Should there now be some form of interstate? Sisi, can you hear me, Dr. Aliyu?
They don't have that technology.
Dr. Aliyu, should there now be some form of collaboration between the states? You spoke about Kogi State, Nasarawa State, Kaduna State, including the FCT. Shouldn't there be some form of collaboration among the states and the FCT to ensure that these criminals do not have a safe haven? Because, I mean, it's one thing for these criminals to operate in some states. For example, Niger State that has adjoining forests that connects to states like Kaduna and also Zamfara State. Should there be some form of collaboration among the states and the FCT to ensure that it's a hotbed across board for all of these guys who decide to perpetrate criminal activities?
This is what I'm saying. They need, outside the state collaboration, we should use other organizations, security NGOs that are available within those states and even the FCT, so that the conventional security agencies will rely on information coming from this angle, because they don't have that enough manpower to cover every place. In some communities, it will be sad for you to know that I've entered several communities, even within around this state, around the FCT. You go to some communities, they don't have a single presence of even a police post in that place. And this is a large community. They don't have a single presence of police posts, and they are bordered. They are around the bush. I mean, a lot of forests and all those things. So, creating more. For instance, take Buhari Kuje for instance. You go to some communities. Kuje is under FCT, but go to some villages, communities in Kuje, they don't have one single police outpost. Are we serious? But you can find all these small quasi agencies in around NGOs, security NGOs around that area that are trying to provide security for their community, and the police are not giving them that collaboration. Everything, if you do not engage people to say, okay, we are collaborating with you, and you are not giving them anything later of collaboration, you must give them something in written so that you sign. Whatever that's happened, you know they are working for you. Don't say, okay, we are together, and you expect these people to be doing, and when something comes up, you turn your back against them. No. So the police must be more civilized than this. They must wake up to the reality of time. Nigeria is not the Nigeria of 20, 30 years ago, where there is no sin, where we don't even know anything at all, kidnapping. Kidnapping started like a joke in the Niger Delta area when we heard them say, oh yeah, they are kidnapping oil workers and all this things. It started like a joke. Now it has become a household name in Nigeria. Everywhere now, everybody is kidnapping.
All right, CCG, let's talk about, you made mention of manpower. Are you with us? CCG, are you with us? Let's talk about the manpower you made mention of. Earlier in your discussion, you mentioned that all the security agents, even combined together, it's not enough to secure, the number of Nigerians in the country. But then, what about the synergy? We've seen how, when there is joint task force between, these different security agencies, they tend to be better productive situation of securing the citizens. But then there has been a bit of, situation between agencies. I mean, there's a video going viral on this road safety corps and a soldier, having a bit of a situation that they were fighting publicly, which should even be against, what they do and their jobs. So do you think that is one of the problem? There is no synergy between these people in order to at least manage the manpower that we have to secure the country?
Very well. Outside the fact that there's no manpower at all, 1 million people can never secure over 200 million people. It's not possible. It's not carried by any scientific book or any theory in the world. 1 million people can never ever anywhere in the world secure over 200 million people. Outside that, I personally have seen the chief of defense staff in regard to interagency cooperation or signage. And equally, a few weeks ago, I even sent him a video between a video of a soldier and an EFCC squabbles. Now, this thing is a reality. I've spoken to him, and he's a very listening general. He said, yes, they are working on that, how to create that synergy between the agencies, security agencies in the country. The main thing is that all these agencies put together, they are having one interest, one objective, to protect Nigerians' lives and their property, and then the military to protect the territorial integrity of the nation. And all this put together is to create peace, unity, harmony, progress in the country. So we cannot be having them divided in this whole noble objective of keeping Nigeria peaceful, secure, and all those. So there is the need for that interagency cooperation, interagency training. The NSA too need to wake up. I have been accusing the former NSA that he was docile. I don't want to start accusing this new NSA again that he's docile. I'm sure Nuhu should know that there is the need for this interagency synergy, and even outside NGOs synergy to help in the fight against these heinous critical crimes that are pervading almost every nook and cranny of our country.
All right, CCG, there's also the issue of, for example, the proposed 2024 budgetary provision for the Nigerian Police Trust Fund is around 57 billion. And the Ministry of Police Affairs is expecting a budgetary provision of around 869 billion. However, it's one thing to have this provided in the budget, and it's another thing for the funds to be dispersed. You and I know, obviously, that one of the major challenges, or some of the major challenges that our security agencies have complained of in time past and now, is lack of manpower, lack of funding. How do they work around these issues to ensure that equipment is not a problem, funding and ensuring that proper deployment is not a problem, ensuring that, of course, we know that some of these officers in one way or the other have been found to have compromised some way, somehow. So how do we address these little issues that the security agencies already have, especially the police, for example, you know, before trickling down to ensuring that they perform their main function of ensuring internal security?
When you look at the police, to be fair to them, the police are having an enormous work in hand, and they have been doing their very best. And then you consider the meager salary they are giving them and allowances, you began to pity them. I think the government should look into the police welfare generally and improve on that. And then if you want somebody not to be compromising, you have to make that person a little bit comfortable in terms of discharging his responsibilities. So the Police Service Commission and even the IG and whoever is taking care of the police welfare, whatever it is, they should look into ensuring that the police welfare is not taken with kid gloves, properly taken care of, and they are provided with their allowances or duty allowances immediately, and it is due for when it is due for them. Because when you send somebody to go and stay on the highway, and that person stays in that highway for 24 hours, ensuring that there is no security breach on that part of the highway, and then you left that person without care, no food, no any means of taking care of himself, then that person must compromise and started begging, or even go a little bit above that to extort money from road user and what have you. The other time we saw how deplorable Nigerian police people have become, and someone who is somebody who is traveling around, how do you call them, with a bike, came to Nigeria, and they are asking the traveler, what did you bring? Give us money, naira, dollar, and all this. Well, you can see how deplorable we have become in this country. Because why? Their welfare is not properly taken care of. Assuming they are well paid and their welfare is taken care of, and they have money in their pocket, do you think they will condescend so low to be begging for money on the street? We shouldn't blame those, but I understood the other time that the IG or the police service commissioner had dismissed those people. When you dismiss such people, what provision have you made for them? Are you not telling them to go and start kidnapping? You have already trained them, they know how to use guns. Having guns in Nigeria is not anything again. Anybody can access any gun, because Nigeria is having over 1,050 porous borders, 1,050 unmanned borders in Nigeria, and nobody is doing anything about them. And you are talking of crime. All these borderlands are those places that all these weapons are coming in from. And a simple offense that a policeman committed, that you will have maybe take him back to maybe punish him, and then to make sure that they are having constant training and training. You are not engaging them in training. You just give them their basic training and give them gun, and then they are on the street, year in, year out, 10 years, 30, 40 years, no one is going for training. What kind of resource persons do you think they will be for you out there? So there is a need for constant training of those people, those junior police officers. I'm not talking of the senior police officer, those ones that will go to abroad and collect all sort of extra code and fill their pocket and what have you, and forgetting that the people that are executing those security breaches in the taking care of security breaches in the country are those junior officers, and those junior officers are not taken care of. They are not trained, and their welfare is almost zero. So I'm calling on the President, Tinubu, to call the IG and then discuss with them and know how much care they should be taking care of police that are taking care of, that have been given the constitutional responsibility of internal security, peace and order. And then there is another aspect I would like to emphasize on this program. Nigerian government, President Tinubu should take note, please, that there is the need for him to create an agency again, a security agency called a counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency agency. The military is...
CCG, okay, we seem to even have a bit of a connection issue on that one. I mean, he was making a point that got me curious as to what he wanted to say, counter-agency.
Counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency agency.
But then the main issues is that some Nigerians already have the opinion that there is a lot of already security agencies on ground.
I wish we have Dr. Aliyu back, because honestly I was going to ask him if that would be the replication of the functions of the Nigerian military, because I mean, as much as the police is saddled with the responsibility of providing internal security, we've seen time and time again where the likes of the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, as well as the DSS and even the NIA come together to synergize to ensure that this happens. So in what way he wants this counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency agency should work is what I really wanted him to explain. However, I don't know if he's with us or he's hearing us, but then let's just quickly take a quick break to see if we can reconnect with Dr. Aliyu. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak on Trust TV. Unfortunately, we were unable to reconnect with Dr. Sani Aliyu. But then again, Sumi, quite a number of issues, yes? Especially the prevalence of the activities of one-chance operators in Abuja. If any of our viewers who reside in, here in the Abuja, in the Federal Capital City, is watching this program right now, they definitely will resonate when you mention one-chance operators and how, they have been operating, some would say, seemingly unabatedly. I've heard conversations and discussions where people would say, even when they are apprehended by the police, they don't even spend up to 24 hours in police custody.
Yes, there's been that.
Most of them are not charged to court, and they are released, and then these people go back,
so
and
same
continue.
Thing. Yeah, it's
exactly.
normal now to just get arrested because they have somebody on the outside that is getting them.
That has been the speculation. So the question now is how, because even the police in the first place have also mentioned their own challenge, which is identifying these one-chance operatives because of their modus operandi. They come in the guise of taxi operators who are commercial taxi operators who are picking passengers and the likes of that. In the vehicle, unfortunately, you cannot scream. Even if you do, it's a moving vehicle, so
nobody can really
almost
help.
Little help that you can get. And most people don't know that these things are happening until it has probably happened. So the only way people know, onlookers know that something might have happened is when you alight from the vehicle, probably after being dispossessed of your belongings, and then that's when you can raise alarm. But then while you're raising alarm, they've zoomed off. So how do you track them when some of them don't even have a plate number, for example?
Let's not even forget the multiple plate numbers that they tend to have to
So for the ones who have plate numbers, they're operating with multiple plate numbers that might not even be registered to the vehicles that they are using to operate. Which
is another thing to take a look at, the level of plate numbers that one person can have. And without even being traced, there is still a lot to do. But one of the things CCG made mention of is that manpower. They don't have enough people. But we saw how the budget, has been given, and the defense is, security is given a chunk load of it. So we hope the president also in his inaugural speech promised to, get more recruitment in order to safeguard the country.
Is it a problem of manpower alone? Granted, yes, manpower is a problem. Welfare is a problem. But isn't the approach also a problem? Because even if, for example, I pray that this happens for all of the security agencies, especially the police, that their welfare package is improved upon and it becomes superb and excellent. Aren't we still going to be having the same issues that we are having currently if there is no change in the approach?
Indeed.
Because if you don't change the way in which you try to apprehend these criminals, and they are well aware of the current approaches that are being used, they would find a way to circumvent it.
I mean, if there is one thing
the problem
Nigerians are known for is how smart, to maneuver to find their way out of situation, which is really a really sad situation on that part. We hope that all the necessary stakeholders involved in securing the nation come together to handle this issue once and for all. It's becoming alarming. If the FCT residents are not feeling secured, then imagine how other parts it's the other
federal
part of
capital
people would feel. It's really bad. It's becoming so alarming. 2024 should not bring the baggage of 2023.